Hey guys, welcome to my podcast. And again, if you didn't know, I just started my podcast. This is my first ever podcast. And again, you're probably wondering the reason why I'm starting my podcast. And again, it's quite simple and clear. Is to talk about my books. And again, if you didn't know, I've published two books so far, which are just the other day in Resume Football, aka Soccer. You can find them on Amazon. And when you're publishing your books independently, you have to do all the marketing yourself. You have to sell them. You also have to publicize them yourself. Even though Amazons are selling them for you, anybody can go there and buy a copy. But again, you might think maybe a lot of sales happen. No, you have to do all the work, making sure you publicize and also you market to all the people so that they know you are also a writer. You cannot expect just to put something on Amazon and expect people will know what you're writing about. No, you have to do all the work, and that's the reason why I'm starting this podcast. And again, if you haven't read my first book just the other day, it's more focused on my life experiences. In that book, I share very sensitive topics. I share about the loss of my mom. I also share about my struggles coming all the way from Africa and finding myself in a totally different world and having to navigate some of the things I had no control whatsoever. And again, I also condemn those behaviors that I've had to encounter in the past. And it's quite simple to say that I've had to experience some very different stuff in this country, being in America, some forms of discrimination, bullying, and also stereotypes, prejudices. And I needed to condemn those books in my first book because these are some of the things that I couldn't allow them to make me a victim. And again, that's the reason why I came up with the first book. And if you happen to read the introduction of the book, I also talk about I never knew that I would become a writer. And given the fact that I had to encounter a lot of things from here and also being in Kenya, I need to put them in writing. Sometimes you have to condemn some behaviors in your life. You cannot let them make you a victim or also beat you down and be miserable. And that's the reason why I write to condemn those behaviors and also share some of the experience that I've had to experience in America and even before I came here. And for the second book is Racism in Football, aka Soccer. And you will realize I didn't plan even try the second book, given the fact that this player that I know by the name Vinicius Junior that plays for Real Madrid, he's a forward there. He was racially abused in Mestalla Stadium, and that was on May the 21st, 2023. And I sat down in the evening of that day and I said, "This is this has this has been a trend in Europe to many black players." And I said, "I'm going to write a book about this incident, and also I'm going to highlight some of the experiences that other black players have had to experience while playing in Europe." And I condemn those behavior because if you look all these black players that play there, they get racially abused on and off the pitch, and they get heavily criticized by the media anytime they make slight mistake. Let's say missing a penalty kick. They get racial abuse. On social media, be it on their face. Those are some of the things we cannot tolerate for sure. Because you will have realized we're living in the 21st century, and this type of things shouldn't be happening whatsoever. So that's the reason why I wrote my second book. And again, you can also find a copy on the Amazon. We have three different versions: paperback, Kindle, and also hardcover. And the main reason why I'm writing this book is to share my life experiences, again, as I've said earlier, and also share some of the experiences that other people experience. And if you happen to read even my second book, Resume the Football, aka Soccer, you might think it's more focused only on soccer players. No, I also highlight black individuals in America who have been brutalized by law enforcement officers. And again, the main purpose of writing my book is not to attack anybody, is to condemn these behaviors that we have no control whatsoever. Because you might think maybe racism is not here, it's here with us, and we can only do our best to condemn and kick it out of our societies, because it's really, really putting a toll on our mental health. And it's good to condemn them and also kick it out anywhere, even if it's far from this planet. And again, I've seen some very good people in the past, and those good people are the ones who need to do something to make sure that we live in a society where we will not be judged by the color of our skins, but the content of our character. Even Martin Luther King Jr. said that. So you will see all my books in the near future, and again, you will expect those books will be more of other people's experiences and also my own experiences, and that's the way I'm going to express myself. And again, if you can relate to what Lucky Dube sang before he died in 2007, you will realize he sang about his life experiences and some of the things that he saw other people also experience around him. And that's the reason why I also write, to share my life experience and also share what other people experience around me, not only black people but also white people, because I've seen good white people in the past, and again, they have also encountered a lot of things, but because they there was nobody to stand up for them, it's one way of also making sure they also have every right. You might think maybe we face discrimination, only black people. No, white people also go through things. They face a lot of guilt because of other people's behavior, and we cannot live in that society, because we are one human race, right? We are one human race, and anything that happens to us, we have no control whatsoever, because these are just generational thing that came from our great grandparents and great grandmothers and great grandfathers, that we have no control whatsoever. So if you look the history of racism, it came from enslavement. It came from many years ago. We were not here, and now it has transformed from different faces, and now we are struggling with these issues today. It's some of the things that we can control, but again, it just depends how you are raised and how you are taught by your parents, and we can only do our best to make sure we kick them out from our societies, and together we can make a miracle. Expect more podcasts from me moving forward.